Hi, my name is Graham Gross-Close. I'm a senior in sport management at NC State University. Today I'm going to talk to you about an increasingly important issue that is facing coaches and athletic administrators day to day. That issue is hazing. What is hazing? Hazing can be defined as humiliating, degrading, or abusing new team members presumed to enhance team bonding. Another definition says, any activity expected of someone joining a group that humiliates, degrades, abuses, or endangers, regardless of the person's willingness to participate. Some of the most common forms of hazing include alcohol consumption, violence, humiliation, and sexual assault. One of the biggest questions is, where did hazing come from? How did hazing emerge? Congress first expressed concern with the issue in the Navy. To refute the issue, they passed a statute making all forms of hazing subject to punishment by court. This brought popularity to the concept of hazing, and it began to show up in college athletics. Most universities began to recognize and frown upon hazing when two students purchased guns and shot their hazers. This caused the shift from public hazing to hazing behind closed doors, and it began to show up in high school sport. A study conducted by the University of Maine found that 55% of students had experienced hazing. Nearly 90% of students that had experienced hazing did not consider themselves to have been hazed. 1/3 of all high school athletes have been hazing victims. Some symbols associated with hazing include authority, respect, class, control, and team solidarity. Another study was conducted by physicians for 3 middle-class school districts in the suburbs of New York City. Data was taken from 3 middle schools and 5 high schools. Students were asked about their experiences when they joined a team, and in particular, whether team veterans had forced them to engage in activities that were embarrassing, dangerous, and/or illegal. In this table, we can see the different behaviors listed on a questionnaire that are considered to be hazing, as well as the percent by which each gender had experienced each form of hazing. You'll notice that 74% of females and 61% of males admitted to experiencing any type of forced behavior. This table breaks down hazing by sport and shows the percent hazed from each sport team at one of the high schools where the study took place. You will notice that the highest percentage of hazing occurred on the gymnastics and cheerleading teams, and the lowest percentage of hazing was on the golf team. The main thing to take away from this chart is that hazing does exist on every single team at the school to some degree. One reason that schools do not place greater emphasis on preventing hazing is that the law does not require it. Federal law ignores hazing completely. Local law addresses hazing in 43 of 50 states. Only 27 states' anti-hazing laws apply to high school students, and only 25 states' laws carry criminal penalties for high school hazing. In most states, criminal law classifies hazing as a misdemeanor. The maximum penalty ranges from fines between $10 and $10,000 and jail time between 10 and 365 days. What can we do about hazing? First, we can create federal anti-hazing laws. This prevents hazing from going unpunished in states with weak or no anti-hazing laws. Additionally, uniform anti-hazing law resolves legal conflicts. Second, establishing punishment for failure to report hazing. States could more sufficiently prevent hazing by implementing zero-tolerance laws, which criminally require all witnesses to report to authorities, including victims and student witnesses. Last, we could require schools to enforce anti-hazing policies along the lines of mission statements, codes of conduct, team rules and regulations, etc. Here are a few examples of hazing cases. At Trumbull High School in Connecticut on the wrestling team, 8 students were arrested and 7 expelled after a new teammate was injured in a hazing ritual. Police say the victim, a student with learning disabilities, was stuffed inside a locker, slammed into a wall, and sodomized with a plastic knife handle in a series of attacks. The victim suffered a serious knee injury in one incident and is receiving counseling for emotional trauma. A team member also reportedly told police that both the wrestling and basketball coaches at the school saw the victim hogtied and did nothing. Another one at Duxbury High School in Massachusetts on the baseball team. Players were caught shoplifting items from a store while dressed in their baseball uniforms as part of a team tradition. The team forfeited 13 games as part of its punishment. Last, at Potsdam State College in New York, on the lacrosse team, 8 members of the women's team were charged with first-degree hazing, a misdemeanor, after an informal team dinner turned into a drinking fest, according to police. They were also charged with 7 counts of reckless endangerment. To conclude, we can gather that hazing has taken somewhat of a snowball effect. It's occurring earlier and earlier, and it isn't necessarily confined to intercollegiate or professional sport any longer. Hazing has become a trend across the United States, and most athletes have experienced it in some way, shape, or form. In recent years, hazing has become more violent and has affected younger students. However, almost every situation is preventable. As sport professionals, we can do our part to help fight this hazing trend by helping to plan, create, and implement anti-hazing policies, as well as report any instances of